Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. We're just going to give it a couple of minutes to allow people to enter the room. Just to go over some housekeeping while we're waiting on people. You know, we've got the chat facility available today, so if people want to say hello, tell us where they are. Tell us if it's gorgeous sunny weather with you or if it's pouring down rain with you. Currently in Blackpool, it is very sunny but very cold. So as I say, put that in the chat, let people know who you are. Make sure you change the chat to be for everyone and not just hosting panels. That means anyone that joins the chat today can see what people have got to say and see where you're coming from and who people are. So as I say, we're just going to get started in a couple of minutes. Once we've got some more people in the room, we'll try and get it started as quick as possible, so we've got as much time as possible to go through today's presentations. Just give it another couple of minutes to see more people are coming in and joining, and then we'll get started. I think we had a slight issue there, guys, with the chat. So I think if people try now, the chat functionality should be working, should be switched on. So if people want to just say hello in it, just to let us know it's all working now. That should be great. Yep, there we go. First message. Jen from Cornwall, sunny and shining. We've got Greg from Scotland. So yeah, chat is working. So I think we will get started. And welcome everyone. So thank you everyone for giving up some time this Thursday morning to join us to talk about digital transformation to drive the growth and how to find and win and keep customers. So obviously we've got some great speakers with us today, so I'll just do some housekeeping and introductions. So as I've already went through, we've got chat facility there for people to use freely throughout the day. Now remember, what is in that chat people will see and people can use, so just be very careful if you're putting any email addresses, contact details in there that, you know, this could be shared, people could start content. So just be very wary of that. If you're putting your details in there, just be aware of what could happen. We've also got the Q&A box there, which will allow people to ask questions. We will take questions and answer them at the end. So if people have anything during today's presentation, please put them in there and we'll try and pick them up at the end as we go. So I think housekeeping done, let's get going. So my name is Craig Moore, I work for the FSB and I'll be your host for today. And today also on the call, we've got Damien Devlin, who's the Senior VP Start for Salesforce. We've got Paul who's the Chief Operations Officer from Salesforce Cloud Galactica. And we've got Colin O'Farrell, who's also from Salesforce. So I think you're not here to listen to me. So I think before we get there, we'll just get our host to do quick introductions. So Damien.
Thank you, Craig. You can hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Good. Well, a huge welcome to all of you this morning. It's a nice autumn day here in Belfast, so I'm across in Northern Ireland, and I hope it's the same or better for you where you are. Now, you might be wondering today what CRM or digital transformation is. So what we're going to do with your time this morning is to try and demystify this a bit for you. So first of all, my name's Damien Devlin, and I'll be one of your hosts for the next 55 minutes or so. But just before I hand over to Paul to introduce myself, I wanted to give you a brief introduction to me and why I'm on here today with you all. I've been with Salesforce for coming up to 12 years, and I have the pleasure of leading our startup business in the UK, which means I get to work with SMBs like you every day. Before joining Salesforce in the world of technology, I spent in around a decade working and growing a number of small businesses in the broader media and communication space. But during that time, I even had the pleasure of working with the FSB's government team in Scotland, helping them get their message and campaign out across the country. Paul, over to you.
Thank you, Damien. My name is Paul Batterson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Cloud Galacticos, who are a Salesforce partner. I've been working with Salesforce for about 13 years and more broadly helping organizations implement IT systems from small businesses, charities, and large enterprises for about the last 15 to 20 years, all told. I'm very pleased to be here with you all today to share how we can help you drive efficient growth and transform your digital setup. So back over to you, Damien.
Thank you, Paul. Well, let me quickly talk you through the agenda. So I'm going to talk a little about CRM and digital transformation, okay, keeping it simple, which will then be brought to life by a short and hopefully thought-provoking demonstration by my colleague, Colin McFarrell. Paul will then take over to reference a small business story that relates very much to what today's content's all about. And then we're going to take you through an offer available now for FSB members. So all very exciting. And really after that, hopefully we will have time and we'll be able to get to a question and answer session. So please do engage with us. As Craig said, we want to hear from you. And if you want to comment at any point or post a question, just do it. So Craig will moderate that chat and hopefully keep me and Paul on time. So first of all, moving to the next slide. Why do businesses need a CRM, and what pinch points in your business can a CRM help you with? So just think about that. So here at the startup division in Salesforce, we talk to small businesses every day, every single day, and we hear typical problems that they tell us about that they're causing them pain. They often have invested in lots of different technologies that are great really on their own, but not so great when they don't talk to each other. And what we got there is leaving staff toggling through different systems, or worse again, having to export and import data from one system to another, which really slows them down. So it's far from ideal when, really already there's too much to do with not enough time to do it in. So they also tell us that they worry that this leads to poor customer experiences, right? As they're not as focused on the customer as they'd like to be, which prevents them from really growing their businesses effectively. So moving on to the research side, to give you an example, research shows that companies waste approximately 20 hours per month due to fragmented systems and siloed processes. Now, that's equivalent to 6 working weeks a year. So it's a pretty scary statistic. And considering the economic impact, or the economic climate, should I say, that we're in, where every penny counts, not great. So whether it's multiple spreadsheets or separate software for each function, these processes are very costly indeed. So as a result, small businesses are moving towards technology to move away really from them old manual processes across their whole business. In other words, they're going through digital transformation. So whether it's customer service or email marketing or even collaboration tools, the trends are showing us more small businesses are seeing the value in technology. So one particular area small businesses are focused on is customer relationships in what we're seeing as the all digital world. Notably, small businesses particularly rely on technology to support this, such as customer relationship management or CRM systems. So for those unfamiliar, CRM is customer relationship software. Really what it's there to do is help you manage all of your communications, your interactions with your customers, so that you can find new customers, sell to them more efficiently, and very importantly, offer amazing customer service. And given all that's really happened over the last year and a half, it's no surprise that some 67% of grown small businesses use CRM. So in terms of investment, our research also found that majority of small businesses, I think 83% of them, have at least some of their operations online. And of those, nearly some 95% have moved a portion online in the past 2 years. Furthermore, nearly 3/4 of small businesses have increased their online presence across social media, websites, ads, and more. And here's a look at where they are accelerating that investment. It's no surprise that in a time when small businesses are listening more and more to customers, the customer service is now the #1 investment area, followed by sales. Which comes to our vision. Since we founded Salesforce back in 1999, so we're just 23 years old, it was to help you connect with customers in a whole new way, a different way, if you like. We understand how difficult it can be, especially as a small business, to get new customers, to get them on board and offer the customer experience that they love and expect. And the way that we fulfill that vision is by helping our customers build what we call a customer 360. So let me kind of demystify that phrase for you. So what does it all mean? So Salesforce's customer experience, it's how you put your customer, like Jeannie's friend in the picture here, at the center of everything you do, okay? It unites all of your teams, your marketing, sales, service, and IT, all on one integrated CRM platform. So what that does is allows employees can access the information they need to do the best work. Marketeers can access all of the data they need and run successful campaigns and find more leads, which we all want. Sales have a central place to track all the leads, the opportunities, grow deals, and win more business. And service or customer support have access to that same central place to solve customer problems and keep those customers on board. So if I really could summarize that, I think really it's about increasing the the collaboration and alignment among all of your teams, which leads to more personalized experiences for your customers, helping you build stronger relationships with them, which is really the fairy dust. So in terms of success, look, we survey a wide sample of our customers every year to better understand what benefits and impacts they're getting. Now, these percentages you see here make for great reading, but the key takeaway, I feel, is the overall success achieved. And if you look at that, that's really that revenue's increasing for these customers, support costs are going down, that their marketing efforts are paying dividends and showing a proper return on investment, and that they can finally get proper insights from their data to make those well-informed decisions right now that they need to do, but also for the future. So that's all from me in terms of demystifying CRM and digital transformation. Now I'm going to pass to my colleague Colin McFarlane, who's going to bring this all to life for you over the next 20 or so minutes and show you how CRM can help you find, win, and keep more customers for your small business. Thank you, Colin. Over to you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Damien. I will be sharing my screen in 1 second. I just want to kind of set the scene a little bit first. I just checked, Damien, you can hear and see me okay, yeah? Just give me a thumbs up, perfect. So by way of introduction, my name is Colin McFarlane. I'm a senior solutions engineer here at Salesforce. I actually work in Damien's org in the ESB space, so working with a lot of kind of small to medium-sized enterprises. I'm currently here in very cold but sunny Dublin, which is great, a little bit across the water maybe from a lot of people. I just want to take the opportunity to say thanks a million for having me here today. FSP had asked me through Damien, who's my RVP, and obviously Ed as well, who's the AE, to get involved. So delighted to be here to present a little bit about what Salesforce can hopefully do for some of your organizations. On these demos, when we're speaking to our customers, generally we like to have it as interactive as possible and get people speaking to us. But obviously this is a webinar and I think a lot of people are on mute. So any questions you do have, please pop them in the chat and hopefully we can get to them after the session. So why are we doing this demo? To kind of back up what Damien was saying there in the presentation, we just want to give a sense of what a CRM is and how it may be able to work with some of your organizations. We're going to go through a find, win, keep. So the idea of getting a prospect from the top of funnel through into your sales function in relation of a lead and an opportunity, and then having an account view. And then, as Damien spoke about as well, the customer service side of things. So once the opportunity is closed out, how do we keep that customer by offering really good customer service after? So to help me go through the demonstration, it helps if I tell a story throughout the demo. And in doing so, I'm going to introduce two personas. The first persona, or the person we're going to talk about today, is Lauren Bailey. Lauren works for an organization as a project manager, and she's been tasked with purchasing a number of laptops for a new office that they're setting up in a few weeks' time. And then the second persona is myself. I will be working within an organization called Lennoxsoft, and they use Salesforce on a daily basis, so you can get to see what it's like to work with Salesforce implemented in one of your organizations. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and hopefully you can see that. Yeah, all good. So starting off the story, as I said, Lauren has been tasked with purchasing a number of new laptops for her organization. So she's on Google, and with the use of Google AdWords, she has landed on this website of Lennoxsoft, and she's very interactive with the website. She's downloading white papers, she's watching content, she's reading lots of stuff, and she decides, you know what, this is a pretty good company. I'm happy to go with these for my task of getting 10 new laptops. So with that, she lands herself on a get in touch form, or what we might call a web to lead form. So here we can see that Lauren's actually already filled this out. So we have her name, her first name, her last name, her email address, the company she works for, which is Omega Inc. And then she actually has left a comment as well. So I'm looking to purchase 10 new laptops. Can you please let me know if there is any upcoming product launches? So we know that Lauren is interested in new product launches for this organization. So this web to lead form is now registered on the site. And here now we get our first view, I guess, of a Salesforce instance. So this is like our marketing department, I guess, is what you kind of would call it. And here we can see from that form being registered, that contacts form, straight away, all of this information is automatically loaded up for us. We can see in our prospects tab that Lauren has come in with her name. We can see the company she works for. And then two very important points here. We have the marketing score and the marketing grade. So this is a way of automatically telling us as sales reps what prospects we want to really focus on and what ones aren't so keen, we may not be so keen on. The reason Lauren's score is so high is because I said that she was very interactive on the website. She was reading content, she was downloading white papers, she was watching content, and she actually sent us in a comment as well. So that's all going to give her a massive score compared to maybe another prospect who wasn't as interactive on the website. And we're going to try work on Lauren's prospect as she's higher up on the scoreboard, essentially. And then the second part is the marketing grade. So that's how interested we are in Lauren based on her criteria. So, for example, she gave us her first and last name. That could be a good thing. She gave us her email address. She actually gave us a comment. She gave us the company she worked for. So she's kind of filled out the whole form. And from that, we can give her a pretty good grade that we're happy to move forward with and move her into a journey. So this is now going to introduce the idea of an automated journey, which is how the marketing platform in Salesforce can work automatically with these prospects for us to decipher, are they going to be good enough for us to work on them as leads in the future? So I'm going to walk into what we have here, a product launch automated journey, which is an extremely easy way to create automated marketing journeys. There's no code needed here at all to create this flow that I have here. This is all drag and drop capabilities. And I'm going to start the journey. So at the top here, we have the prospect of Lauren coming into our new product launch journey. And she's going to try and make her way down to the bottom and then have this prospect converted into a lead. So the first kind of test that this prospect comes up against is to see if was this prospect above a grade of a C+. And yes, she was a B-. So she's going to go past this stage and on to the next one. Important to point out, if at any point the answers here were no, she would go into a different list that we could have set up, and then we could potentially market to this prospect in 6 weeks' time, or send different kind of content out to a prospect like this. Now, this would all completely automatically be working in the back end. Obviously, for the purposes of the demo, I'm just going to click through and talk through it. So we got past our first test, which was the grade, which is great. We've now moved into the score. Did Lauren have a score of above 50? She absolutely did. She was on almost 8,000. And now this is where the real value of this automated journey comes in. Automatically, based on these two bits of our criteria, based on the score that we had and the grade, we can automatically send Lauren an email based on product launches. So we know that she wants to know about product launching. We can automatically send her this email describing what information we have about new products coming up, which is obviously very kind of a time helping in terms of time consumption and things like that. The next step is also very key for the prospect. Here we can actually see, has Lauren opened this email within 5 days of receiving it, which is obviously going to be a key part. So the answer to that is yes, we can tell that. And now we've actually decided that this is a strong enough prospect that we're happy to actually automatically move this into our lead list. And once it goes into our lead list, it's moved from prospect into lead. Our sales rep is going to start working on that lead. So I'm going to move now from our marketing console into our sales console. This is a key part as well to show the power of the platform, that I'm going from marketing into sales here. I'm not going into a different section. I'm not going into a different platform. It's all completely together. There's no siloed systems. And now I can start working on the lead pretty quickly. So here I have all the list of all the leads that I currently have within my organization as the sales reps that I want to work on. Straight away, I can see the name is Lauren Bailey. The title is a project manager. The company is Amiga Inc. It's a new lead, and I have her phone and email information here, so I can very quickly reach out to, because I know she had a really high score, that I want to be all over this lead to try get these 10 laptops sold. So at the top here, we have the information, again, automatically dragged forward for your sales rep to view quite easily. I have the stages of the lead. I have the key information I want to try gather on the lead, and I have the guidance for success as well. Then we have just more basic details about the lead here. And then very importantly, again, to highlight the idea of breaking down these silos. As a sales rep, I can see all this information that we had in the marketing department. So I can see what we call paradox score, but let's call it the marketing score, or I can see the marketing grade. So as the sales rep, I know that's a very big score and it's a big grade as well. So I want to be all over this lead and try to interact with Lauren as much as possible. So let's say I make a phone call, or I create an email, or I reach out to Lauren. All that activity is going to be logged here. And with that activity, for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to say that, yeah, Lauren's very interested with finding a quote, and I'm going to move to that stage now and move this lead into an opportunity. Before I do, I just want to show as well just this engagement history. So this is me as a sales rep. I have a view of the interactivity that prospect had with the journey. Again, really good for customer service. If I'm ringing up Lauren, I know what information we've sent to her, what she's read, what she hadn't, and I can kind of help guide my conversation as I'm trying to sell these laptops to her. If I weren't to convert this lead, I can actually send it into a different area of the organization as well and maybe remarket. Let's say Lauren said, get back to me in 6 weeks. I can automatically send that into a list that will tell me to create a task and get back to her in 6 weeks, making me quite organized as a sales rep. So I'm going to convert the lead, and now automatically within the system, it's going to create an account for me. It's going to create a contact, and it's going to create an opportunity. So all this information is correct and accurate, and I'm not taking a lot of time, dragging things from Gmail or Excel to try to create a new account. It's all done automatically for me. So from there, we've converted the lead into an opportunity, and now I can move into the opportunity stage and try actually close out this deal. Here's just a list of all the opportunities I'm currently working on. I want to quickly show a Kanban view, is what we call it, to show a kind of from a reporting and a dashboard perspective, and kind of if you were to look at what's happening within your organization. I can see here, let's say I'm coming to the end of the quarter. A lot of my business is actually closed one at the moment, which is great, but I have 2 deals here, and I can see the value of them quite simply here that I'm trying to work on to get over the line to close that revenue out as well. And then we can see the different stages that all of those opportunities may be sitting in. So I'll go back to my table and I'll pop into my Omega Inc. Opportunity. So just to reiterate, we had the prospect that went through the journey, then we created that into a lead, we converted the lead into an opportunity, and here we are within our opportunity stage. Now, all of our information is at the top again. Pretty similar view in terms of this, the sales cycle and how you want, what stages you want to be working on. You have your key fields and your guidance for success again, and just more kind of detail around the opportunity itself. Then to give a full view, I have all the contacts associated with this organization. I may be speaking to Lauren, but I might realize that Lauren has a boss above her that I want to speak to as well. I can have all these contact roles in here. And then in relation to the actual opportunity itself, I've just added in from our price book 10 of the 3500 series laptops at €1,000 each, which is then loaded up into an opportunity that we're going to work on. So I guess to continue on the story, and Lauren's happy with this quote. We've sent her a quote out through the Salesforce platform, and she's accepted it. And she's we're going to move ahead with the order, which is great. Which will kind of bring us onto the account view to show the full, what we call our customer 360, like Damien spoke about previously. So here's the sales rep. From everything we've spoken about previously, I now have a full view of the whole account of Lauren, and all of the data points are visualized here for me. So again, at the top, all of the information associated with her account, Omega Inc., all of the details I need to know as a sales rep, all of the contacts associated with this organization are going to be loaded up here for me to work on. Any of the sales opportunities that are currently ongoing, we can see our 10 laptops is loaded up there. Any of those bits of current opportunities are going to be here for us. Any quotes, orders, invoices, sales information is going to be here. And then this brings me on to the service aspect as well, that customer service side. So that win conversation, we're going to pick that up in 1 second. But this would be where the service tickets for this organization would be loaded as well. And then again, just to show, a full activity log is now loaded up for all of the interactions that I'm having with this organization are loaded up here. So there's a good history of that. As a sales rep, I know what's going on in the past. And if I have to have a conversation with my manager or anything along those lines, all the history of the account is there. So that's the kind of the sales aspect of it. And we spoke about the find in terms of the prospect. This is the sales. Now moving on with the story, I guess. Let's say, for example, that order was placed and there's 10 laptops on the way out to delivery to Lauren. She realizes she's made a mistake, and she actually was meant to get the laptops ordered to the office in Manchester, not the office in London. So she's thinking, how can she get in touch with the company? Thankfully, there's a portal that we can actually use in this regard. So here we have it's called our Experience Cloud, which is based on the back of this company's website. So we can see this is quite similar to the website we saw previously, but we can actually see that Lauren is logged in here to the portal, and there's just, there's information about the website, but there's also Salesforce information shown here for Lauren to have a view of. So you can have, current deliveries, current cases, things along of that nature. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to a contact us page because there was an issue with the delivery. So on the right-hand side here, we can see that there's actually knowledge articles loaded up. And so this is a chance for Lauren to self-serve herself and try to get the information that she may need herself without clogging up the service reps kind of dashboard and queues. So she's had a quick look on the right-hand side and she's not seeing that there's anything there for her. So I'm just going to type in here subject line. You might notice as I type on the right-hand side, these articles are actually going to change. So I'm going to say there's an issue with delivery. And once I do, those articles will update to see, for example, here at the bottom is update to do you ship internationally? Or how can I check the status of my order? So these two articles have loaded up based on the subject line that I put in here. Again, a great opportunity for Lauren to try self-service self one last time before we get in touch with an actual service rep. So she has a look at this article. Is this going to solve the issue I have? It's actually not. Can I get to that, Alex? It's actually not. I can't. That's not giving me the right information I need. So I'm just going to say, can you please get in touch? Because at this point, Lauren actually wants to speak to a customer service rep and get an answer to her question. So I've loaded that case up and I'm going to pop back into our sales console. And again, just to reiterate, we've gone from marketing to sales, and now all in one fell swoop, I can now move into service console and I can try to service this tickets that's come in. So at the background here, we have our dashboard, which I won't get into now, but I will say that this is our admin channel at the bottom. So I'm currently offline. I'm going to go online. I'm going to pick this ticket up that's been loaded up for me from Lauren. So as a service rep, straight away, I can see that there's an issue with delivery. In this case, came in 30 seconds ago. I can open this up and very powerfully, we can see based on Lauren logging into the website that all of Lauren's information is now pulled up for me as a service rep to have a look at. I can see all of the contact information, the case information, opportunities, and the other cases associated with this customer. So again, to Damien's point, this is the real customer 360 view that you're getting. Again, we saw it in sales. We're now seeing it in marketing that all of this account information is here for me to try to work with as a service rep. You know, if I'm ringing up Lauren, I know that there's 3 opportunities to keep that top of mind, not just go straight to the case, just to try to build that relationship a little bit more, I guess. Then in terms of closing out the case, I have these stages at the top that I can work with. Important as well on the right-hand side here to show these milestones and SLAs. So based on the importance of this case, I can see I actually only have 8 more minutes to get back to Lauren before I miss that SLA that we have agreed with Lauren. And then again, just to bring in the idea of these knowledge articles, let's say, for example, I'm a new hire within your service organization, and I'm actually not sure of the issue or not sure how to answer the question. I can search these knowledge articles here and find out more information about shipping and deliveries, etc. And that's not quite going to do the job for this email. But let's say, for example, I make a quick call to Lauren or I find out the information. I can, reiterate, make her be assured that we've sorted out the delivery issue. And I'm going to send up with a quick email to say, yeah, we've sorted out that issue. A bit of a customized email ready to go out to Lauren, just to show that now we've moved that stage to working to customer, and that SLA then potentially will be closed. So I'm kind of right up in time. There's one more thing I quickly want to show in terms of the overarching story that I've shown here, trying to maybe reiterate that point of a find, win, keep. If I show this, what we call our CEO dashboard. Now, you could obviously name this anything you wanted. From an executive standpoint, everything I've spoken about is kind of loaded up here for us to have a look at. So I can see marketing information on the top 3 pillars here. So pipeline generated by marketing activity, expected revenue by marketing channels, and the ROI of marketing campaigns. So if we got Lauren to get onto the website based on that Google AdWords campaign, and that's how we started the conversation, we can actually see, there's no Google AdWords there, but you could have, for example, an email campaign, and that's the revenue we're expected to see from that opportunity we created. Then we have in the middle here our sales pipeline. So as a business, where are we in terms of our target to date, our sales pipeline, what do we need to do to get over the line at the end of the quarter, the largest opportunities that we have at the moment. And then in terms of customer service, an overarching view, what cases do I have, where are these cases coming from, and what is our overall kind of SLA compliance and getting back to our customers. So that's the end of the demo. I think I'm kind of okay on time. I'll stop sharing now, and I think there's 1 or 2 slides for me to talk about. I'm not sure who's pulling them up. Perfect. Thanks for that, Craig. Yeah, so I guess this is just, I suppose, to reiterate the whole idea behind why we had that demo, just to kind of give an introduction to what a CRM is, and those three pillars there I think I spoke about in terms of the find conversation of marketing, getting your prospects at the top of the pillar or the top of the funnel, and how you can kind of automatically work with them and get the correct information you need to move them into your sales cycle in the middle, to kind of help your sales reps effectively work on leads and opportunities and get a good account view. And then once the kind of conversation of the sale is finished, it's about that keep conversation, to keep your customers as much as possible in relation to your customer service. So that's those three pillars I just wanted to quickly talk about. And then the next slide is just, I suppose, maybe the key takeaways from what we spoke about there. Maybe we could see an idea of finding more leads to win with more customers in that part of the middle, and then to keep them happy and grow the small business bigger and bigger, I guess. So thanks a million. That's my part. I hope there's a few questions based on that. And I think I'm handing over to Paul now.
Super. Thank you, Colin. So I wanted to talk to you about a small business success story of how they've worked with Salesforce to bring success to their business. And it's a customer that we've been working with for a number of years now. It's called the Data Protection People. So I don't know if you can tell, I've had to close the blinds because it's very sunny here today in Harrogate. And the Data Protection People are a small business based in Leeds. And as the name probably gives away, they help organizations with data protection. And Cloud Galactica has been working with them for a number of years now. And the organization started out really like most small businesses, 2 or 3 people that got together and wanted to share their expertise, their knowledge with others, and help provide that as a service to other organizations. So particularly around the time of the GDPR first being discussed, as more and more organizations were putting in place IT systems, the Data Protection People wanted to help organizations and help other businesses, be they large or small, understand all those regulations and needs so that they could properly look after their data. And I'm sure it's something that everyone on this call is fully aware of, and it's something they've dealt with. And I know it's something that I've dealt with, and I am actually a DPP customer as well as being one of their partners. Now, the DPP have grown over the past number of years. As you can see, they're no longer just the 3 or 4 people that started the company. Last I was chatting to them, they were up to 35 now. And there's a picture here where you can see a number of those people together. But they're a perfect example of how they've used Salesforce to grow and scale their business. So we can just jump onto the next slide. There's 3 key areas that we've helped them with around this find, win, and keep. And the first one was to help them find these new customers. So when they were just starting out as a small business, it's very hard to reach out and get that scale and get that reach that you might get if you had a very large 20-person, 30-person marketing team when you're 1 or 2 or 3 and you're doing it part-time. And so one of the things we helped them do was implement some of the out-of-the-box features of Salesforce Sales Cloud quickly and easily so that they could start to run campaigns, they could see measurable return on investment and start to track where they were spending their time and effort, and it actually helped them so they could then capture more leads through their website, actually, get the information in, get it logged in a single system where everyone could see that same data together, and then pass that through into becoming an opportunity. And so they could then keep track of all of their customers they were working with, what their actual pain points were, what information and assistance they might need, where they were based, had they had a face-to-face meeting, had they got NDAs signed. All of these pieces could then be tracked within the CRM system, within this single contact and customer relationship management setup, so they could start to win more deals and close them more successfully. And so we helped them, first of all, find these new customers, then improve their chances of winning, which as a small team was really, really key to them to help them grow their business. And one of the things that they started to offer as a consulting service was a service portion as well, so they could keep their customers. So we could just jump onto the next animation. One of the key things for them was being able to keep their customers happy. As a small business, one of the real kind of key differentiators for you is often that personal touch. And this was very much the case with the DPP, is that you got to speak to, initially, at first anyway, one of their founders, someone who was a true expert in the field, and they've grown their team to have other experts and other team members brought on. But keeping their customers happy was the easiest way for them to get referrals, because we know that word of mouth is a key driver for small businesses, but also for them to ensure they could keep these customers coming back and keeping them happy. And they started to use Salesforce Service Cloud for that, so they could start to gather these cases, gather these queries, whether it was through a website, through a phone call, possibly through a chat system, whatever it might be, to collate them all together so they could answer them properly. So it didn't matter whether you emailed in a query, went on their portal and entered the query, or gave them a phone call. It was stored in that single location against your account, as we saw in Column's demo. So you could start to see all that information together and start to piece things together, and also add in things like some of the escalations and milestones that we saw in the background of that. So you could start to offer different levels of service depending upon what packages they bought. Now, what's really interesting for me about the DPP is that not only did they leverage Salesforce to help them grow and succeed as an organization to start to win more business and keep more customers happy. If we jump onto the next slide, they were so impressed with some of the automation features that we've seen in the background and some of the pieces that Colm highlighted there, such as Experience Cloud, that they actually went out and we helped them build a product on Salesforce. So the DPP offer a product called DataWise, and the data protection people offer this product to provide you a single location where you can start to manage your risk, store the data information you need in there to be compliant with different data regulations across the UK, that you can have it referred to and checked by an expert, and that has all the automation and processes, all of the verification and standards that they know you'll need in a single location. So it kind of does away with just using a spreadsheet, which could get lost, can get overwritten, and has it in a fully audited, correct system in the background that keeps you compliant and allows you to assign tasks, responsibilities, and start to manage that risk properly, but they can offer it out to everyone. So it was a great big step for them to leap forward from not just using Salesforce themselves as a customer, but to see the power of the platform and what it could bring together to integrate all these systems so they could start to offer that out to others. And all of that information is still connected to that same CRM data in the background. So if you are a DataWise customer, not only do you access the platform and are you given access to this platform, but it's then connected back to all of your other queries and cases and uses all that other information that we were just talking about as well, so they can offer that best-in-class service. Now, we've heard about how the data protection people have utilized Salesforce to grow, to help them to find more business, to win more business, and to keep their customers happy, as well as how they've leveraged this expansive app platform to build out new products and services. And we're really, really pleased to be able to share an exclusive offer we have for FSB members. So we're pleased to offer Salesforce Up and Running workshops. And this is a collaboration between the FSB, Salesforce, and Cloud Galacticos, and is an exclusive offer for SFB members. It's a 3-day focused workshop during which you'll get the Salesforce Sales Cloud product up and running for you to use within your business. That allows you to capture leads, to capture account information, work through these opportunities, close deals, and report upon them in one single bundle that will save you a lot of money and allow you to get up and running with the system quickly. It's a £500 cost to members for the workshop. And on top of that, with your Salesforce licenses you'll purchase, you'll get a 20% discount as well. Now, often implementation timelines and costs can be a real barrier to allowing small businesses to pick up systems and services like this. And so we've tried to reduce the cost down so you'll get access to it and it'll help you work. We'll be running these all across the UK and space is limited. So if you are interested, please reach out to your member advisor about it. But I just want to go through some of the key benefits of these workshops for you. So first of all, these are delivered by experts. So these are members of the Cloud Galacticos team that have been delivering projects for 10, 12 years, just like I have experience in training and teaching people how to use Salesforce, how to work with Salesforce, and understand what it's like for a range of businesses, and will bring that knowledge and expertise to bear to you when they're helping you to get up and running. You just it gets that CRM system up and running for you so that you can have it out of the box running using all of the primary features to give you that maximum return on investment. So rather than it being a 5-10 day window where it gets up and running, you are shown how you can configure the system, how you can manage the system, how you can run with the system, so that you are able to self-serve going forward as well, so that you can start to manage and grow your business. These will be in-person sessions, as I mentioned, around the UK, where you'll have the opportunity to network and learn with other FSB members that are also undertaking them. So not only will you be able to see how others are running their businesses and how you might get to learn new things from them, but it's a great chance for you to network and see if there's any synergies or options that you have to work with other FSB members to help bring you together and leverage the power of the FSB network. And then finally, one of the things we're looking to do is add access to further partners. So Damien mentioned right at the very first slide, I think it was, about how one of the things we see with small businesses is disconnected systems and silos of data everywhere. Well, we want to help remove that. And Salesforce as a platform is fantastic for you to allow you to connect all your different systems and have everything on one platform. And so we're looking to allow you to bring on other partners such as the DPP, but also partners that allow you to connect your finance systems, partners that allow you to connect your file systems, your email marketing systems, your chat systems, whatever other data systems you've got into your CRM to allow you to go from finding a customer all the way through to invoicing them quickly and easily, and that Cloud Galacticos can support you on the way through. So if we jump onto the next slide, as I mentioned, if you're not, this is an FSB exclusive offer, sorry. So if you are a member of the FSB, you should find your MA and reach out to them to find out more about it. If you're not a member, we highly encourage you to sign up. You can see the link here to find your local MA to contact them as well. Sessions will be ongoing across the UK throughout the year, starting at the end of November 2022. There will be limited space per session, so if you are interested, please sign up and register your interest early to avoid disappointment. And if you have any other questions, please contact Juliet Brown, who's the head of partnerships at the FSB, at partnerships@fsb.org.uk, and she'll be happy to help you with any questions you've got. We're really excited to be able to offer this benefit to FSB members to help you find, win, and keep more customers and help you grow your businesses and be more efficient in running them. Let's jump onto the final slide. So thank you very much for having me here today. I'm sure Damien and Colin would like to extend their thanks as well. And I think we've got some time for questions.
Yeah, well, indeed. Thanks, Paul. I enjoyed that customer story a lot. And I'm glad that they were, when they look at the cost of bringing on a platform, being able to use that platform to increase their own revenue streams is another very nice way of looking return on investment. So look, I'd love to hear from anybody in the online, any questions that we have between Paul, Colin and myself. We'll try and get across them.
Cool, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you guys. It's been really helpful, really interesting and engaging. So we do have some questions. So got a question here from Chris. Is there a Salesforce plugin that adds content forms to the website, and how does it work? Now that sounds like it's probably a question for Paul or Colin.
Yeah, I'll happily take this. So what Colin showed you was an integration through Salesforce's Pardot marketing platform. But you also have the option to have a simple lead capture form that provides you some HTML. So there's a couple of different options there, depending upon what level of process automation you want in there. But it's very simple. You just add a small bit of code into your existing website. There's no API integrations, no complex work to be done. It's just very simple copy and paste that you can add in yourself. I don't know if you've got anything else to add on that, Colin?
Yeah, no, Paul, that's exactly it. And there's just obviously within Salesforce, the platform, there's many different ways of doing different things. It's extremely adaptable. I just say on that, like on a daily basis, we work with lots of different kind of companies, and the use cases change dramatically. You know, from retail customers to you know, medical customers to high tech. So like it doesn't cease to amaze me how it's all doable. It's just a matter of, you know, figuring out how it all works. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Next question. Is there a minimum amount of licenses required to obtain the workshop? Someone's asked.
You'll need to have a license. So we've opened this up to all FSB members. So whether you are a sole trader starting off by yourself, or whether you're a larger small business, there's no minimum license required other than one license. When you register your interest, you'll be put in contact with a member of my team and a member of Damien's team. Will help guide you through that process, make sure you're getting the right licenses you need for the workshops, that you're ready and raring to go.
Thanks. So what else we've got? Someone's asked, is there a basic cut down version for SMEs like me with a single product launch about to take place?
But
I think artists, I think I talked at the beginning about when we launched in 1999, and one of the kind of key ethos as a Salesforce was to democratize technology. So whether you're a one person or one man, one woman band, you know, working out of your bedroom in a travel company, say, or you're a large corporate, doesn't really matter. The platform's available for all. So like the workshop, you know, whatever's needed to require to get you up and running and successful in it. But yeah, like some small businesses we work with are as complex as some of the larger businesses out there. So the platform, we have vanilla platform that's very kind of does a lot, but we try to keep it clean. So whatever iterations you want to make, you can go from there. So yeah, it's on and it's available to all businesses, no matter what size.
Great, thank you very much. Question: someone's asked, how hard is it to migrate data if you're using something else at the moment?
I'll leave that with the two.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Very easy is the honest answer. As long as you can get the data out of your existing system into what's called a CSV format, so an Excel file basically, it's very easy for us to take that and load it up in there. And so if you are using an Excel file, very easy to load it in there. We just have to map the fields and upload it. If you're using another database system, most standard databases allow you to extract that data and push it up. So it's definitely something we can help you with in order to get that through. And Salesforce has a suite of tools to allow you to import things in there quickly and easily as well to make that transition smooth.
Great. So just to double check, you did say all the workshops are available UK wide. Someone's asked, does that cover Northern Ireland as well?
Yep, we'll be happy to go wherever anyone wants us to come to. So we're working with Juliet and the partnership team to figure out the correct route around the country to take. So as we get people signed up, we'll be arranging sessions in all different regions. But yep, the devolved nations are definitely part of it.
And another question on the workshops: is it 3 consecutive days?
It will be 3 consecutive days, yes. So we're trying to make it nice and quick and easy so that you can come in, have 3 days, go back to back. You can keep focus. You're not taking too much time out because obviously we understand that you need to be able to run your businesses and keep running them efficiently, and can't just go taking weeks off here and there. And so it's a very focused 3-day session to get that all done.
Thank you, Paul. So we've got someone here in the chat. We're building a B2B for an SaaS product that will be available on license to sit alongside our consulting service. Can Salesforce take direct payments from SME business customers? So
Salesforce, one of the things that's really powerful about Salesforce is they have something called the App Exchange. And so the way you can think of it is an app store, but for the Salesforce platform. And they, in fact, nearly called it the App Store, I believe, as well, David, many years ago, didn't they? Before Apple.
Yeah, they did. It's a good story, and because we found maybe worth telling. But Steve Jobs and Mark Benioff, who's the founder of Salesforce and still CEO, were quite friendly way back in the day. And in fact, Mark worked for Steve Jobs and Apple. But Mark had come up with the App Store and had basically registered that name. Steve Jobs was talking about the App Store, what is now the App Store, and Mark gave him over, I believe it was his birthday, give him the name and title of App Store, and we took App Exchange and give them the App Store. So I don't know who got the best deal, but I would say probably Apple got the best deal. But yeah, ours is called the App Exchange, ours is called the App Store.
most expensive birthday gift I think I've heard of for a while.
Yeah.
So Salesforce has the App Exchange where lots of different partners put their products up there to help you do more with the Salesforce platform, and so to extend it further out. And there's things such as e-signature and finance and all the litany of different products and services that you can add on there. Things like integrations with external systems like Eventbrite, for example. So there are a number of payment partners that work on the Salesforce platform that allow you to take payments through a form that you can provide to people. And you could happily work with one of those partners to allow you to take direct payments so that you could send a link out from Salesforce. Your customer will be shown the place, they could go in and they could fill it in and they could make that payment there as an example. So all these things are possible. And that's one of the real beauties and powers of Salesforce is it's a very integratable platform. Always been API first to allow it to be.
And I'd also suggest as well, if anybody is interested in looking beyond what we, our bread and butter at Salesforce is CRM and what we're very well known for, and that's perfectly fine because it is very much our focus. But that App Exchange is there to allow not just people in technology that work with us, our partners and our independent software vendors, but as Paul just gave a really good example, and I've been here 12 years at Salesforce, I've seen this happen all the time where customers get on board, they start using the platform to run their own business, but they start looking at the products and services that they have and they think, well, there's a marketplace. I would like to take advantage of. So they'll come to us and say, how do I put one of my products or services on that app exchange? So I've had probably about 10 plus customers over the years do that, and they're very successful now in terms of that. And some of them have kind of wrapped up their old business, and now they're kind of seeing themselves as this new tech business offering this service. So there's many different ways to do it. And when you do look at the appexchange.com, there's a lot of the products you can connect in for free. Some that don't cost anything at all. Some cost, some don't. So it is worth, if you have 10 minutes and a coffee at hand, just to delve in. There's a really powerful search engine in there, and put in what you might be looking for to see what comes up. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I just add, I hope the expertise of our partner community is coming across in the call here. Like all questions, Paul absolutely nails them. So just to say, like working with partners is extremely important, and get kind of implementation up with them. And you can see, like when we work and we do demos, a lot of the times we're leaning a lot on the partners to help us because they know so much better. So I just wanted to call that out.
Great. Thank you for that. So this is a question, but I'm not sure. It's probably not straightforward answer, because these things never. Someone's asked, what's the licensing cost? But does that assume on what they get and what they're taking?
I can take that. Yeah, we have broadly a few licenses to get people up and running. The easiest way to look at this, and Paul can talk this as well, is, are you integrating other systems, or are you going out of the box? And sometimes that's the easiest way to think about it. People, when they're integrating other systems, to get a single view, let's say, or that 360, the little image I showed you, people expect that is the case, that maybe a slightly larger cost, as you'd expect, and that tends to be one license or the other. So I think, Paul, you can talk a bit more about what you would see that opening license or licenses being for the workshop. But that's the easiest way to think of it. Are you connecting all the systems, or is this broadly out of the box and getting you up and running? And that will determine one or the other cost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, to build on what Damien's saying there, like the focus of these workshops is really on that core Sales Cloud product, that CRM piece, that is where Salesforce started those 23 years ago, and where they've been investing ever since, to help you get up and running on that, as that really is that core functionality around that customer 360. But from there, one of the benefits of this is that it gets you up and running with that, and then you can start to add these other things on as and when you're ready. One of the things that I'm sure Damien will reiterate here and is acutely aware, is that for small businesses, it is often more of an iteration and an evolution, isn't it? Rather than I've worked with some very large organizations that could sit there and say, we're going to do everything day one and that's it. But we appreciate and understand, for small businesses, you want to find out and want to work and grow as you do. And that's what we at Cloud Galacticos, and we know Salesforce as well, want to do, is to help you be successful on that journey as you go and scale and grow.
Yeah, as Paul was saying, it is about baby steps sometimes for some of our small businesses. Like I say, I kind of run the startup division, and sometimes we get taken back by how quick people want to move and how they want to grow. I think there has been a slight change over the last, and I did talk about periods of time in my 10 minutes, and in the last year and a half, 2 years, there has been, we were hit with scale pre-pandemic. A lot of startups and small businesses were very focused on scale, and that's great. It's not that they're not anymore, but when times get a little bit tougher, and the economic climate that we find ourselves in, efficiency and productivity now have kind of superseded scale a little bit more. So, whether they want efficiency and productivity, we can do that very well. If they want scale, we can also do that quite well for them. So it really depends what's going on with these companies in the UK. But some want to go very quickly, some just want to take it piece by piece, and we'll take them by the hand and help them do that.
I mean, just as an example of, Cloud Galacticos are a small business that use Salesforce, unsurprisingly. I think Damien would be shooting me if I said we weren't. But, as we've scaled and grown over the years, when I first started working in the organization, there was 5 of us. Now we're up to, I think, 32, something like that. And, Salesforce has been there to support us on our growth. And, it started off initially with just a few of us using it, primarily those of us focused on the sales aspect and lead gathering. But now we use it for project management, we use it for timesheet recording, we use it for HR management, a number of things like that, that as we've grown as an organization, we'll be able to leverage AppExchange products for things like HR systems, and for our invoicing and finance, and integrate them together. But we've been able to take those steps as we've been ready to grow, rather than just having to try and do it all at once. So it's been able to enable us to grow and be more efficient by having things on that single platform as well.
Great. Thank you very much for that. So we've got 5 minutes left, and I've got one more question here, unless anyone quickly wants to grab, experts' opinions before we wrap things up. But someone's just asked, obviously, Paul, you mentioned the session start in November. Will there be a timetable coming out for that, or will it depend on uptake in what areas that you're running?
So in terms of the timetable, we're hoping to try and run these monthly to be able to move around the UK and make sure that we give everyone within the UK a chance to attend them and come through. And we are happy to run them more regularly than that if there's significant uptake on them. What we're focusing on doing first is finding the right area. So the more people that sign up in a location, the more likely you are to be there first. And so, as we mentioned, places are limited for each of these sessions as well. But yeah, the plan is from our side that we'll be coming around all of the UK, running these regularly, and we'll share a timetable over the coming weeks and months as to where we're going. And your partner, your membership advisor will be able to reach out to you as well within your region if there's one upcoming. And I know that, from my side, and I know I'll reiterate this on behalf of Damien as well, is that we'd love to come out to the regions and meet you there as well, face to face, to learn from you and to hear your views, directly.
Great, thank you very much for that, Paul. And I think this will be the last question because I've got a thinking this might take a bit of time to answer. So Jill's asked, it seems that maybe it's more relevant to customers, companies selling products rather than consultancy. Is that correct?
Well,
sorry, go on,
I was going to say, I've been across all the divisions of our business. So I've been lucky enough to work in the enterprise, the commercial, and now I'm in this ESMB or startup side, which is the very beginning, if you like. Startups are for us like 0 to 10, 0 to 20, not like Paul's business was and have grown into. So a key part of what I look after is what we call our business services industry vertical, and that is by far one of our biggest industry verticals. And it's the biggest because it's the most richest, because it's lots of sub verticals in there, but there's a predominance of consultancies in there and business management types of businesses. So I couldn't tell you how many certainly leads we get in, but I know how many customers we have, and it's a great many of our startup customers across all of the UK fall into business services. So it's a very, very vibrant focus for us, and we get lots of interest in there. And many of them, it just lends itself very, very well to what they do. But Paul can talk more because he's one of them, right? But it's consultancies are many of them come to us and use Salesforce and use it very well.
Yeah, as Damien said, I run a consulting service that uses Salesforce. The real power for us is the fact that over the years we've been able to build in these extra pieces like time logging, reporting, and management, so that when we started out and there was just a few of us, it was very kind of much easier sales where we'd be able to say, okay, it's this many hours, this much per hour, and this is your number, and that's it. But as we've grown, we've kind of got a number of different clients on different billing models. Some are fixed fees, some are time and materials, some are managed services. There's a plethora of things that even when we just say it's business services and consulting, there's different consulting models out there. And as someone that uses 3 different consulting models there, we can manage them all, sell them all, and build them all through Salesforce nice and simply. But more importantly, because we got all the data on one platform, it's tied together. My background is, I'm a mathematician by trade. I am therefore the person that sits there and, the reports that Colin showed, I'm the numbers guy. I sit there and irritate the rest of my team by just making sure that I know exactly where things have come from, how many hours we've spent, where it's come from, and how that all adds up. Because for me, that's rich and interesting data that I can use to help better serve our customers and let them know, hey, I've noticed you're coming up near. So a good example is we've got one customer of ours that every month have just kept on getting to the limit of their managed services allocation with us, and then been like, okay, well, we need to stop for this month. And so what we've done is we said to them, well, what's holding you back from going to a bigger package? And it turned out that there was just a bit of timing around their fiscal year and around getting budgetary approval. So I can solve that problem. I can have a chat with them and we can come up with a price that works and help them through that. But I could only do that by having that data in there to start to look at and seeing that information in there and building that relationship and having that information. So that's the sort of thing that you can get by leveraging this. I wouldn't have said it was just for product companies, but it's very, very powerful for consulting organizations as well.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Well, we are a minute off, so bang on time just about. So firstly, just like to thank Damien, Colin, and Paul for their time today. Been really helpful, really engaging. I think we've with those questions, obviously, I think you're going to get a few people signing up for the the sessions, which is good to hear. Again, just to reiterate what Paul said, if you're interested, look out for who your local MA is. If you're a member, go and speak to them, find out more about them. And I think finally, just thank everyone for their time today, and hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Everyone, have a great Thursday.